Today's show is supported by El Carafe Shrine in Clio, Michigan, and they're sponsoring a Sportsman's Raffle, which is held on April 23rd, 2022. Address is 4240 West Wilson Road, Clio, Michigan, 48420. It starts at noon. Ticket costs are $20 in advance, $25 at the door. One ticket gets you a shot at 100 different weapons. If you're interested in getting a ticket, please call 810-686-2641, or you can buy online at eksportsman.com. That is eksportsman.com. One ticket gets you a shot at over 100 weapons, and if you buy a booklet for $60, you get an extra ticket for a special drawing of 12 weapons or cash prizes. Please check them out online, eksportsman.com, or you can call 810-686-2641. Now back to the show. All right, good morning. Welcome to the Warrior's Way. Our warrior this week is Dawn Ramirez from Little Lamb. Say good morning.
Good morning.
All right, we're going to get to you in a minute. First of all, if you've not seen our show before, please go to YouTube at Spiritual Warfare Unit. You can click on our other nonprofits that we have supported. If you're struggling with something in the area and need food or clothes, housing, drug issues, alcohol issues, please go to spiritualwarfareunit.com. Click on struggling. You'll see a list of people that can help you out. You click on that name, and you have a phone number to call directly and then get someone to help you out. All right, so our warrior this week, like I said, is Dawn Ramirez, and you're from the Little Lambs. Tell everybody what the Little Lambs is.
Sure. Little Lambs Compassionate Ministry Center. We've been around in one form or another for the last 15 years.
Okay.
And basically, our desire is to walk alongside families with children. Mm-hmm. We try and offer them hope by providing barrier-free resources.
Okay. Barrier-free resources.
Yes.
Boy, that sounds professional. What's that mean?
Well, a lot of times you can only get the resources based on where maybe you live, your zip code, or if your kids go to a certain school, or you have to be referred. You have to jump through a lot of hoops sometimes.
Right.
And then once you get it all set, let's say then now you're going to move, not very far, just the other side of the county. You got to start all over again.
So you're telling me then I could have somebody call and they can get food and baby formula and diapers?
And clothes.
Is there like a limit to this stuff?
I think we ask families to come once a month.
Okay.
Just because we have about 64 appointments we can do in a week. And so we need to be able to make sure that everyone can get in every month.
And you're an official 501c3 granted?
Yes, we are. Yep. Little Lambs Compassionate Ministry Center, Inc.
All right. And do you have a website that people can click on while we're talking here?
It's www.littlelambs, that's plural, cmc.org. And that's all one word, littlelambscmc.org.
All right. So if you want to check that out while we're talking and we get to hang out with the brain of this operation, we'll do that. And you guys click on that if you need some help, especially if you're a single dad or a single mom and you're struggling. And everybody needs help sometimes. So where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
I grew up a little south of here, down closer to Detroit in Wayne County. Garden City was where.
I know
City
that.
Is where I graduated from high school.
No kidding. All right, so hold on now. So you grew up in Garden City, which is explain that to people. What kind of would you call it? Low, middle, high income?
It's a bedroom community. It was probably at the time. Lower middle.
Okay.
I mean, like Farmington, Livonia.
I would agree.
Those were the fancy people.
And explain a bedroom community. That's an interesting tone.
It was what we had. The houses looked the same. They were brick. They were ranches. They had 3 bedrooms, basement.
Like 1.5 baths, basement.
Oh, we had 1 bath. 1 bath and 1 phone.
Wait, how many girls were in the house?
Just my mom and myself. Yeah. There were 4 of us. So, there were 4 of us all together. But 2 of us women. So yeah, I was, a little postcard or, little lawn, front lawn, back lawn, maybe a pool.
Yeah.
There were a couple houses on the block that had a second story.
So you're living the American dream, right? Got a little something and got to mow your postage stamp.
Yes.
Got to get your $5 for. All right. So, so what was the name of the school you graduated from?
High school, Garden City High School.
Okay. And how old were you when you graduated?
17.
All right. So what year would that be?
Oh, we're not going to do math, huh?
Well,
That would be 86. I was in class of 86.
That's not.
So.
Listen, we just had somebody 2 days ago graduated in 76.
Hey.
And so, listen,
Right.
age and ability, right?
Age
All
is
right,
age.
so 86 and you're 17. So what did you decide? Like, where was your head? You going to college? You just
Yes.
want to, so where did you
well,
go?
I went to Oakland University in Rochester.
The Bears.
We were the pioneers back then.
right.
Yeah, we were the pioneers. We didn't even have we had soccer team.
You had a guy with a raccoon on hat and a long musket, or?
We had it was like there was the OU sail was on our shirts and
A sail.
Yeah, there was
Very
a sail,
intimidating.
And then
the
I
sail.
think there was actually like a pioneer hat or something.
Well, they're the Bears now, and
They
that's
are the
much
Bears.
more
They're very
intimidating.
cool.
Please, come on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, they're awesome. It's great. But I went there.
They
I was a commercial music major.
Okay.
So
Hold on, commercial music major.
Yeah.
Now, what does that get you into? Like, you're the background.
Well, there was some major music degree stuff, but also performance and more.
Wow.
So I ended up after that went to New York.
So you're an artist kind of person.
I was at some point, yeah.
Ooh,
Went
okay.
to American Musical and Dramatic Academy.
Really?
Yep, in New York, and then
So you did like plays
I did
and stuff?
musicals.
Shut your mouth.
no, I did
The
musicals.
hills are alive.
Nope, not that
you didn't
one.
do that one? That's 4 hours of my life my wife makes me do every year. And I'm like, man, that's cool
Yeah,
though. So
so
you
did
did that
that.
from like 86 to 90?
86 to 90 was college. Then I got out to New York in 90.
Okay.
90, 91 was AMDA, and then hit the road with different tours and regional theaters and
Wow.
stuff like
You're
that.
so like, you're like semi rock starish. That's
It
cool.
Was a long time ago.
Oh,
and
a lot of hours and a
before
long
social
work.
Media.
Yeah, so your own promotion, right? So you were actually doing the whole road tours and all that whole, and you're in your like early 20s.
Yes.
So you're living like the dream, right?
We were friends. We had apartment with a bunch of people in it. We were friends before Friends was even thought of. So yeah.
Oh, like the show.
Yeah, right.
So Pivot was your idea.
No, we never had that kind of. We didn't have that kind of furniture, but we did sneak a Christmas tree into our. We were staying at the Beacon Hotel that was our apartment complex above the Beacon Theater, and we one of the gals. She was like talking to the front desk people so that we could run the Christmas tree. And
She was running interference.
yeah, she was.
So how big was this tree? Just so I
it
have
was
the.
like totally Charlie Brown tree, but we were really proud of it. It fit in the,
That's right.
There's like 4 of us and the tree and the elevator. So.
Fighting against the system, man. That's awesome. All right, so how long did that happen? How long were you doing that?
I did that until, let's see, 94, 95, 96. I had my son in January of 96.
Okay.
And so then, things got a little bit different. I got into the management part of it.
Sure.
So
So from 90 to 96, you're just traveling. Is there any place that pops out to you? You're like, man, that was a great time, or
they were all kind of,
G-rated
Not really.
TV show. So you
Right.
know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
no, they were-
Yeah. A lot of book reading.
well, it was interesting.
I would
'cause
imagine
it
the
was
travel is actually pretty tough.
we would be like, we would be performing 7 or 8 shows a week.
Yeah.
And then we'd be rehearsing the next show.
Right.
So there was a circuit of theaters between Pennsylvania and Cape Cod.
So how many shows? Gosh, 7 or 8 a week?
Because you had 2 on Sundays.
Jeez, and how many weeks was that?
A run would go, oh man, I can't even remember how, because you would do, I'm trying to think if it was like 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks a run, depending on what,
So let's
where
say
you
it
were
was
at.
just 10 because the math's simpler.
Right.
Right.
And then
And you're doing how many? 7 or 8 a week? Mm-hmm. So that's 70 or 80 shows in 10 weeks.
The same show, yeah. But then you would be rehearsing the next show.
Man, that's like Groundhog Day for real.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And here's
yeah.
the laugh and on to the next one. And
No, there were ways to keep it real. There were, little things. So,
Well-
nothing to spoil it. We were artists, like you said. But
Yeah.
there were it was good.
yeah, the beauty
Little family.
of artists is they're eccentric. The
A little bit.
difficulty of artists is they're eccentric,
eccentric,
right? But it makes it like being a person that I just got into art. So a little bit on my background. I was in a car accident in 2009. I had a brain injury, hence the cool hat and glasses that I wear. And so never an art person, never a music person, always just work, very hyper logical. And then like my emotions turned down. So like when people get excited or frustrated or whatever, I'm very like, you're upset, or when people are really mad and they want you to get mad, and I'm the guy that's like, yeah, I don't feel like getting mad today, and then why won't you get mad, right? And then I started looking at art, and especially like black and white art and forest with like coming down with the little crick, and I swear to you, I sit there just for an hour. I was like, wow, wow, look at the faces and it's.
You got very reflective there.
Yeah, and I have no idea why. I was like, well, I got feelings. I was like, my heart
eyes
grew.
are leaking. What's
I'm
happening?
leaking. So
Beautiful though.
So like the stuff that you did, I never, until later in life. That's why I'm more appreciative. So I want to take the time to do that. So that would put you in the 26, 27 range.
Yeah.
Now, did you get married or?
Nope, it was just me and my son, and that's when I came home.
Okay, so we're on the management side, and we're on your way home, and home was Garden City?
At that point, no. A funny thing, when I went to college, my parents moved.
They're like, we're out of here.
Yeah, they just moved to Dearborn. So,
okay.
But I had
That's
been
a nice
working.
little
I had been actually working a couple years between the theater and coming home. I worked for a pharmaceutical company that was locally there in the Poconos.
Okay.
And they made vaccines, baby shots and flu shots and things.
Okay.
So I worked there and then in sales, and then got a position in a new territory they were opening in northern Michigan. I said, ooh, that's home.
Oh. So is this where the whole kids thing kind of took shape a little bit?
I was a single mom in the middle of the Poconos.
Right. That's why.
Yeah.
So this is this. So the struggles, your real life struggles of trying to find the things that you needed while taking care of your son, thus came into play.
That, the attitudes, just the overall, sometimes the shame.
Oh,
that,
so the judgment of other people and how they treat you because you didn't live their life the way that they deemed as a necessary positive. Something. The beauty and terrible thing about life is people are entitled to their opinions,
Right.
and those opinions can be helpful, and they can be the thing you never forget. It can be the driving force. It can also be the most oppressive, frustrating,
absolutely.
angering thing. And I find that I struggled with that too. So especially when you're dealing with family, and if this is a help to somebody. Especially if you're dealing with struggle and depression, because I had to deal with depression after my car accident, and we'll get into that story a little bit later. But removing the title of the person that's given me the information, and just look at the information. Is that information helpful or not helpful?
Right.
And by removing the title, it removes the power of the opinion and just allows the information. It took me a long time to figure that out, right? But once I did that, I said, well, I can still love that person, and that information's not positive for me, so I don't need to take that internally, right? And you find that being an issue. So this is where the seeds of this whole thing started.
And this is why I tell my moms, you are not your worst decision, nor are you your best decision. So a lot of times we do it to ourselves. We're like, oh, I'm such a hot mess.
Yeah.
Or I'm such a mess. No, your life's a little messy right now. Life is messy.
Yeah.
But you are not a mess.
Right.
That's the difference.
Right. And it has to be messy. It has to be. It's just the way it is. That's one of the things I tell about people is like, man, I always have to make decisions all the time. And I said the most fun thing about life for me is fixing a problem, which compliments you have to have one.
Strategery.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I love being able to fix a problem, and I love like hooking people up with people that I know do things, right? And so that's why we're here. That's why we're here. So you're in your early 20s, and you were at home. Now, did you have a house? Are you renting?
Well, I came to Michigan because there was a new territory. So it was actually the company sent me out, and they're like, oh, we have your stuff on this big tractor trailer, like a corporate move.
Yeah.
And it had come in a month. So I was staying at I think it was the Gateway. Gateway Holiday, because I think that was the only place there, waiting for my stuff. And funny story is, during that time I was waiting for my stuff, I was out there talking to the pediatricians about the different vaccines and such, and I met a nice guy who was a pediatrician, and he invited me to this thing called the Hurley Ball.
Okay.
And the morning of the Hurley Ball is when the tractor trailer shows up with all of my stuff.
Oh.
And so I have a townhouse that I've, rented.
Yeah.
And my son is staying with my parents in Dearborn so I can get all this set up.
So that timing.
Yeah, it was amazing timing. Dress and heels and getting your hair done.
Yeah.
All those girly things you have to
Grab
do,
a box.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So that was a fun time. But yeah, I moved here. Like Oakland University is where I went to college.
Yeah.
And that was as far north as I was really, like anything above Yates Cider Mill was up north for me.
Wow.
And so,
So you know, that's really south.
yeah, and Yates Cider, yeah. So anything past the Jesus sign.
Yeah. Yeah, the Dixie
Like,
Highway Jesus sign.
right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Grand Blanc. I'm going to live in Grand Blanc.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit south of Clio.
Clio,
Yeah,
yep.
Everything was wrong. People would give me directions. Well, do you know where the such and such used to be? I'm like, no idea.
Yeah, no clue.
2019, after being here for almost 20 years, I finally found where shoving the hole was. And that was because I was doing a 5K walk on the new parkway.
It's funny, like when you do your phone numbers, they never give the, it's just 234-1567. And it's like, well, what's the area code?
Yeah, if you're dialing
What do you mean, what's the area code?
Right.
So that is a perfect spot to take our first break. Dodd, you sit tight, and when we get back, we are going to get into some of those struggles that you had to deal with and how we overcame and how the idea of Little Lambs come back. You guys sit tight. Go to YouTube, check out Spiritual Warfare Unit. We'll be right back.
Really impressed with the teachings that Isaac has been bringing to us, as this is all based from Proverbs.
I like it because it's simple, and it doesn't matter who you are. It's very easy to understand and apply to your life.
It points out, my bad parts, and but it's showing me how to do the good parts, and I'm trying to apply that and make a better life for myself because I'm tired of where I've been.
It's impacted a lot of the guys as they continue to talk and ask questions after the meetings, as they speak to one another regarding the meeting and the messages and the topics that are being brought up, which are down-to-earth topics of situations and things that we live with on a day-to-day basis.
He takes the Bible and he breaks it down into simple terms and where you can understand. And like I said before, sometimes a lot of churches, even the Salvation Army, sometimes we start using these big words that people don't understand, like even saying someone got saved. Well, what does that mean? What does it mean when you say someone got saved? And it's accepting Jesus into your heart. So it's like words like that we use that people don't understand.
It's just very interesting how he points out, the different things of, the sin part, and then he comes back with the, how to make it better, and he just points it out. It's there. I didn't know all this stuff was in there, but now that he's pointing it out, it's like, wow, I guess if you really dig into the Bible, you find these things.
This is a daily moral standards that we can live by, that the teachings are coming from. And honestly, we can take verse by verse as what he's done, and pretty much he's done the hard work for us and now laying it out so that we have an easier understanding.
There's some people who don't like to be in Bible classes, but this one seems to get their attention.
All righty, welcome back to the Warrior's Way. Our warrior this week from Little Lambs is Dawn Ramirez, and we were just getting into her story, and I was just having the mental picture of her hair up in a ponytail, high heels, and a dress, shoving boxes and having nobody there, and so before we head up to that, there was a time before that, so after you got back, that you had to deal with some difficulties as a single mother, right?
Yeah.
And so you had said earlier about your worst decisions and your best decisions don't define you. So let's talk about that section so people understand. Sure. All right, so what happened?
I have to go back a little bit further than age 27, go back to age 16. And it has to do with my faith journey. I'd been raised in the church.
Which background?
That at that time was American Baptist.
All right, what's that?
It's an arm of the Baptist Church, but a little more liberal than the Southern Baptist. They ordain women.
Okay.
They're very, very mission-minded, things of that nature. My dad was from the South.
Okay.
So a little bit of crisscross and, some of that theology.
Yeah.
But, at age 16, I had just decided that I could not be good enough. I had it in my head, and it's not anything that was specifically taught. It was just what I had picked up on, that I had to be good, and I could never be good enough.
Right.
You know, I knew what right and wrong, and you're 16, you're going to make stupid
Yeah.
mistakes. So I was just like, I'm done trying.
Right. I can't do it, so I'm
It
out.
wasn't that I didn't believe in God. I just like, you go your way, I'm going to go mine.
Yeah.
And I went my own way until about a month before my son was born.
Okay.
Because at that point, and it was Christmas Eve, I was at a service
Mm-hmm.
in Florida on Daytona Beach where I was living with his father,
Yeah.
and all of his family were all shoved into a pew at this Presbyterian church. And I don't know if it's the familiar Christmas, songs, hymns, or the smell of candles, but for a moment, for the first time in like 11 years, I said a prayer.
Wow.
And it was on behalf of my unborn son, like,
Yeah.
don't let me screw this up.
Yeah, right.
Like, it's not about me.
Yeah.
I was still like, pretty stubborn. That was the beginning. That was the beginning of, an upward trajectory where I said, I want my son to be raised in the way that I was raised.
All right, so you're saying being stubborn was a part of the process.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you for
Strong-willed.
that.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
But the thing is you take that strong will and then you apply it, right?
You can use it for good.
It's amazing. Like
You can
it
use
takes
for
the
good,
same.
Absolutely.
It takes the same iron will to go
Right.
no, as it does to go. Yes, I can.
Yes.
And so we're getting from that, and I love that because I understand that perfectly.
Sure.
Like I was definitely that kid is never going to be anything, kid. And so because I had an iron will, and I remember being a kid and going, my dad said, well, if you go out, you're going to get 3 swats, and I'm thinking, well, 5 hours of fun. For 3 swats, it's like
There's that
it's
strategy.
like a 0.75 swat per hour of fun. The risk reward ratio is good.
Right.
Did you do that? I did. Bang, bang, bang. Okay. Sorry, Daddy, you gonna do it again? Yep. And each Friday you get 3 swats, but you're playing, capture the flag all night with your buddies in the forest, and it was worth it. So I understand that. So all right. So now that we got the background of where we started, the stubbornness, which is great. And because I know you guys probably can't see this, but the fire in her eyes, that's why I keep smiling, because she just gets this little, you get this little half grin, and I'm like, ooh, something good's coming. All right, so you're with your son, you started working, you got moved in with your heels.
Yes,
And,
yes. So I found a job there in the Poconos that, gave a living wage and insurance and benefits and things. And that's important too.
Right.
Because I realized what I needed to be able to do. And with that, then I got the opportunity to come back to my home state. And that was totally a God thing.
Okay.
It was a brand new territory. They're like, yeah, you go out there and try, see what happens. And, oh, okay, well, yeah, you can stay. And, one of the first doctors that I actually talked to was this pediatrician, the solo office. I walked in and I'm like, Dr. Ramirez, and I'm talking to him. And for 3 months I called him Dr. Ramirez. It's Ramirez. He never
Ramirez.
He never corrected me. The gals in the office liked to giggle when I came in.
So you were kind of like Charles Barkley. You always said it wrong and didn't know it.
Yeah, but he finally corrected me. So in that one of those first conversations, he wrote down on a piece of paper 97.1. I'm like, is this the new temperature?
Radio station?
Right. It was a radio station, right? It was Family Life Radio. It was a Christian radio station.
Oh.
And I wouldn't have known that there were even Christian radio stations at that point.
Is that one now still?
Yeah. I think it's based out of Midland. So, and it had decent coverage. And he knew I was driving up to the UP, and I had a pretty big territory.
Yeah.
And so, that he invited me to play volleyball, a pickup volleyball game at the local church that he attended.
Okay.
And slowly made my way into the worship.
Right.
And then one morning one day he was like, we have Sunday school. I'm like, Sunday school for adults? I mean, I remember Sunday school as kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, I got a 2-year-old. You want me to get up, earlier?
Yeah.
He's like, well, I get extra points if I bring a friend. I'm like, oh, wow.
This sounds interesting.
So we had gone to that Hurley Ball that March of 99, and New Year's Eve, he proposed to me. After talking to my dad at Thanksgiving and his boys, he has 2 boys.
So he asked permission from Dad?
It's a blessing from my parents, yeah.
Oh, good
Talked
for
to
him.
his boys, and then
All right, how many boys do you have?
he has 2.
Okay.
Who were in high school at that time.
Okay.
And then we were married that April
Oh.
of 2020. Now, he proposed on New Year's Eve, which there was a really good chance, seeing it was New Year's Eve of '99. You know, that Y2K thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if he was hedging his bets.
Yeah, he's like, if it doesn't work, we're good.
Yeah, right. But we were
The
married
fact that you thought that's super funny.
April 8th of 2000, so it'd be 22 years next month.
So you guys are partying like it was 1999.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
The nice thing about getting engaged on New Year's Eve is you can call everyone because they're all up.
Yeah,
Call
right.
all your friends and family and tell
And
them.
you get to be the star for a day. That's
So,
cool.
So, yeah.
All right. So okay, so you get married and you still doing the work with the pharmaceutical?
I'm still with the pharmaceutical company.
All right, so you did that the whole time. All right, so from 2000 on, when did Little Lambs come? When did that become a thing?
Well, 2001, we had 9/11.
Yeah.
And that was the first day my son for kindergarten got on the bus. I thought that was going to be the highlight of the day. You know? And it ended up me being in the UP because I was working for this pharmaceutical company.
Yeah.
And that was like, okay, I can't get back to my family. And I didn't like that.
Right.
So we had to rethink some things.
Yeah.
In 2004, I had a grand mal seizure out of the blue. It was sleep deprivation. So for 6 months, I couldn't drive. So the company was great, and they flew me to places to train people. But
Wow.
what was happening was meetings were starting on Monday.
Yeah.
So can you come in Sunday night? Be prepared for Monday morning. Can you come in early Sunday? You know, so like we had this great
hold on.
life, but I wasn't enjoying it.
Hold on, before you get in there,
Mm-hmm.
like, what was the sleep deprivation from?
Oh, just
Just like stress, or
no, just
you're just working yourself to death?
It's just my personality, a little bit of insomnia. Didn't realize it was a thing, and yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Wow,
So,
because those
you
can
know-
come on for many different reasons.
right, yeah. It just
All right, so now you're away from the family. They're flying you.
Mm-hmm. right, and I
then-
just we sit down, my husband and I, and we say, this is a great life, but I'm never here.
right.
enjoying
You're not
it.
enjoying the life.
Right.
Yeah.
So we worked it out so that I wouldn't have to. And 2004, I resigned.
Okay.
And the pastor's wife, who was a real good friend of mine, we were part of a small group of moms with kids, various ages of moms. And she said, "Don't do anything. I know that you're going to want to find something, but I
Yeah.
think God's got something for you."
All right.
What she meant was that she did.
She did, yeah.
And there had been this group of moms with younger children, and she said, "We've got this space within the church. Will you decorate it? Will you, come up with a system and, make it look like a boutique?" And I'm like, "Sure."
Reeling
And
you in.
that was 2005 or 2004. In 2005, we finished it, and I stayed.
Well, because it was your space. You made
It
the
was.
space.
It was my space, and also
Man, what a great way to wheel them in.
She knew my story. She knew that I'd been a single mom. She knew that I had been,
Yeah, but
made to feel less than, even within the church. So she knew my story.
oh,
and
you
she
weren't
knew
one of
that I
the
was-
high end click people.
Well,
Yeah, it's weird.
I'm bringing the single mom and her baby to church.
Yeah,
with me.
and that's why I tell people I don't hang out with those tattooed people. They're really dirty, and I just don't like them. And
Meanwhile, there's a sleeve.
what? I can't believe that you would say such a thing. Okay, so
So that's
here-
how it started. That is how it started.
So it started because they wanted you to do
Our pastor.
the mother's group.
Yeah, well, Dr. Bowser and his wife Diane, Dave and Diane Bowser, were prophetic in 2004, 2005. We were in Flint Township.
Yeah.
We told people that we were having this clothing closet. They're like, "What? We're not in Flint. We don't need this." 2004,
There's the
2005.
pride.
So
Yeah.
that first summer, nobody came because we didn't have websites unless you had a degree in
Yeah.
and we didn't have social media. So we were trying to get like
Word
postcards
of
and
mouth.
flyers out.
Yeah.
Finally, the Catholic Charities foster parent program,
Yep.
and their teen parent program
Yeah.
started bringing them in. So 2005. So by 2008,
Yeah, and everything fell.
everything hit the fan.
Yeah.
We were ready.
Yeah.
I mean, that was God's providence, and we were ready.
Yeah,
We'd been
definitely
doing it for
the
a few
feces
years,
hit
yeah.
the oscillator.
Yes,
Yep.
exactly. Absolutely. So 2008, we are in a groove. We've got people come. We've got volunteers. We're in a room that's like 9 by 15. And then we start.
Oh, that's really little.
Yeah, it was a closet. It
Yeah.
was the closet. we are getting donations of items, a little bit of cash here and there. So we purchased some racks because we need big kid stuff, right?
Yeah.
It started newborn to 5T.
Okay.
So we need big kid stuff. So now we're kind of taking over another couple rooms of the children's wing at the church.
Gotcha.
Finally, like 2011, they're like, so we have this house next door that we
Yeah, 'cause you
renting
gotta-
out,
Yeah.
and they're retiring and moving. Can you get all your stuff out?
Yeah.
You know,
Because you had a closet, now you got a closet in a wing.
right.
We
right.
want our stuff
and
back.
at that same time, there somewhere between 2005 and 2009, I had incorporated us to Little Lambs Compassionate Ministry Center Inc.
Mm-hmm.
And was putting a board together. It took a while, which was actually at the time was good because the original 501c3 papers were like this.
Yeah, right.
5-year business plan.
Yeah,
now
right.
it's a postcard.
Yep.
Way easier
Yep.
online.
Yep.
So then in 2016, late 2016, we became a 501c3.
All right. So before we get into that, that was a big jump from
Yeah.
2016. So we got something in there that we got to talk about. But we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
If you haven't gone and checked out Little Lambs, littlelambscmc.org. If you want to give them a call, if you're looking for some help, 810-732-1737. If you had not checked out Spiritual Warfare Unit and you need some help, go to spiritualwarfareunit.com. Click on Struggling. We will be right back. Podcast. I wanted to let you know about our life application program that we have for churches and nonprofits in the area that are trying to find programming that they can use in case the corona shuts you down and you're not able to get in. You go to spiritualwarfareunit.com. You click on our episodes and you can check out our programs for as little as $29.99 a month to make sure that we're still getting the word out to those people that need it. Now, back to the program. All right, welcome back to the Warrior's Way. I'm here with our friend Dawn Ramirez, not Ramirez.
Ramirez.
And we are happily to our third gem session where we have stories or embarrassing things that have happened to ourselves that we share with others. I have found by laughing at myself, I never run out of funny things to talk about. So that's me, however, so I will let you go first. What do you have for us? Anything?
I think one of the most recent ones, Wednesdays are like my 12, 14-hour day where we have morning appointments, afternoon appointments, and evening appointments.
Yeah.
And one of the moms that would visit has now, as her children got a little bit older and got into preschool, comes and helps us out.
Okay.
And so, and she's also going to college. And actually, she's going to Rochester Christian College. So she's a little bit of a hike, but she was always worried about me that I'm not going to eat well. So she brings me dinner on Wednesday nights. Well, she's from Nigeria. So she brings me dinner and it's amazing. I don't always know what's in there.
You mean you don't know what it is?
No. I mean, it's rice and a wonderful sauce and some kind of meat. So then, she starts telling me now.
Kind of meat.
My husband is Hispanic and we've, I've had the tripe and I've had the cow's head, we've had the different things. So,
Did you ask her if you've had that as well?
Well, yeah. So now she tells me it's, but it's amazing. But the just a couple weeks ago, I was like, what's the sauce a little bit different? What's in it? She's like, ginger. I'm like, no, this isn't ginger. And so she's going through all the ingredients.
Yeah.
Like, is there anything that makes it hot?
Yeah.
And she's going through and all of a sudden she's like, well, the jalapenos. I'm like, okay, that would be it. But it was amazing. And the cool thing about this is I have a lot of moms that are from originally they themselves or their families from different parts of the world. And they all have their ethnic cuisine, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And it's difficult sometimes to make it because there's like one African grocery store in Flint.
Right.
To get really good Hispanic Latin ingredients, I go out to like Imlay City.
Yeah.
They've got this couple different stores there to make the tamales. So it's actually becoming, because of that, burning my mouth. Because of that, it's part of what's feeding into an entrepreneurial opportunity for women.
Yeah, I was going to say, the first thing that came to my mind is if you guys did a fundraiser and you were like, here's the cuisine from that area, from these people that were there, and you could like taste the world or whatever.
We're
I just
actually-
wouldn't want to know, like, if I'm having a pig foot or a cow tongue or something, there's how my tongue is getting furry just thinking about it.
They just all together. No, we're looking at doing something a little step up from that.
Okay.
That would give them the opportunity. It's hard right now. It was hard before COVID. It's even more hard to find a job that's going to. I was very lucky. I had a degree.
Yeah.
I was in the middle of the Poconos, and there were two big corporations. One was made, brushes, and one made vaccines. And I had a friend who was in human resources or payroll. So
Right.
I got in on the bottom floor as a temp.
Right.
But then I ended up with the kind of job that was paying a living wage, that was
Right.
paying benefits, it had a 401k.
Right.
You know, so I could support my son and I,
Right.
just the two of us. And I was living in an area that has been oppressed since the economically since the first time in 2008, 2009 when
Yeah.
everything hit the oscillator.
Yeah. You're welcome to use that. It's a great line, isn't it?
I usually say something like the ceiling hit the fan,
Yeah.
which is like
Yeah, close.
Yeah,
Close.
It's a combination
Yeah.
of two wrong ones. So I know what it's like, and it's before COVID. It was hard to find that kind of a job here. MIT says that a single mom with 3 kids would need to make $31 an hour.
Oh.
I don't know how many jobs.
How do you do that?
Right, right. So you don't,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Not here, but what if you had some, and the women have, I don't have ideation. I can fix problems, but I can't just create out of nothing.
Right. Right.
After talking to a lot of my moms, they all have some really great ideas. They just don't know how to go about being, they've got that entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah.
And the one thing I've seen in Flint really done well and success are the people that have entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah.
Including yourself, what you're doing here, both in the profit and the nonprofit area.
Yeah.
So our hope is in the next few years, we're going to be implementing some support systems for women who, instead of applying for a job, make it yourself, make your own job.
Yeah, invent the job so you can create the position
Right.
to provide the profit.
Right.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and that was an excellent segue from the gem to the story. And before we get back into your story, I do have one similar food incident.
Okay.
So I was out in Arizona, and I had a friend of mine, and his wife was Korean, and he said, "We're going to go to this Korean restaurant." And we're in Arizona, right? So we're out west, and every place you go to, you go in, you sit down, they give you water, they give you chips, and then they give you guac, right? So go in there and sit down, and the lady comes in, and we sit down, and he gets up and goes to the restroom. And so the lady comes, water, chips, guac. So I'm waiting for him to get there, and I'm like, forget it, man. He's taking too long. So I take a big old hunk of guac, and I stick it in my mouth. Now, here's the thing. Wasabi looks just like guac, okay? Now, for someone that doesn't know, wasabi is extremely hot, and I'm not a hot person, right?
Wasabi, yeah.
So I feel this wave of heat, and all of a sudden, all of the snot comes out of my mouth.
Oh, yeah, your sinus is opened right up.
Oh,
right.
clean.
Yeah.
Whistle.
It's the best.
Whistling.
The best.
Whistling clean. And what you decide is best, I'm going to say not so much. And that's where one person's heaven is another person's hell. Yeah, I was burning.
Right.
And so I get back, and he's laughing. Right? And he's like, thought it was guac, didn't you? and I just looking at him, and I'm crying, and it's not coming out of my mouth. And I was like, yeah, that's funny. You're hilarious. Yeah, good job, right? So from now on, anytime I go somewhere, I'm like, hey, is that guacamole? And of course it is. What else would it be? I'm like, well, let me tell you a story.
Yeah.
Because
Let me give you a hint. They don't serve guac with sushi. Okay.
Yeah, thanks for that. Good to know. Now that we have that, that's awesome. So, all right. So, getting back to your storyline, we were in the 2008, and then you just started talking about 2016. But
Right.
So they told you from the church, you're blowing us out. You're being successful.
Yes.
We want you out of here.
They needed their children's wing back. Yes.
And so they said, we got a house.
Yeah.
So you upgraded.
Yes. So we moved across the parking lot the summer of 2012. Before we did that, we made it so that it was handicap accessible.
Okay.
And put walls here, knocked down some other ones. A lot of paint, a lot of new floors and things. So that we wanted it to look like a boutique. The whole idea at the time was people would come in. We'd have open hours. You can come in, fill out a small card, just some basic information, so we know who our customers are in that regards. Everything was free, and we were able to expand from the newborn to 5T to include all the way through high school.
Wow.
Plus maternity clothes and a bunch of other things. So this space has a 40 by 20 garage.
Okay.
So that was great for processing. And then the rest of the house, the first floor, we divided up baby room and big kid room.
All right. Now, are you still there now?
We are. Plus, we have 3 going on 4 storage units.
All right.
Yeah, not so all right, but yeah, we're looking for the next. We're looking for the next.
It's
space.
actually going to be all right because the network that we have put together in regards to people that we can hook you up with.
Yeah.
The whole reason I want to have her on is because when we were in the middle of the pandemic, it was insane. And trying to find help to people deliver food when people were terrified. That's back when people had no idea what was what, and you had to make a decision. I could die. Is it worth it? That was, I remember sitting in the table going, you got to die something. It might as well be helping people. And I remember actively going, okay, this is the direction we go. And you guys went there with us, right? And the people that didn't, it was like, I get it. I get it. Because way back at that March of that, it was terrifying. March, April, May, right? And you could go outside. We had no idea, right? It was nuts.
Yeah.
And you guys stuck with us. And so the beautiful thing about what you're doing is the stuff that you have racks of and racks of and racks of, there's people that I'm going to hook you up with, like my buddy Bob and my buddy Pamela from Richfield Academy, and they have exactly what you're looking for. They help single moms, single dads, trying to take care of their kids, don't have the money, and you are going to be an asset that they can just go, call, boom, and we're going to get that taken care of. And hopefully some of the other groups that we're working on as we go from counties to county, because you said zip code is irrelevant, right?
Right.
So as long as it's 64...
We have 64 appointments.
Okay.
And then we have our mobile unit, which is what you're familiar with, that we used completely during the beginning of the shutdown. And I'll tell you a funny story. Going into the Regency the first time on a Saturday, we had a few people that had reached out to us, and then people just lined up.
Right.
And that was fine, except for I felt really, because our bus, it's got pictures of kids on it.
Yeah.
And it's white.
Yeah.
So if you were 4 years old, you might think it was an ice cream truck.
Yeah.
I had kids coming up. Do you have any purple? Do you have any? Okay, mental note. Don't go into the
and don't play weird music.
Yeah, no. But I just was like, no, I don't. But I have diapers and formula and wipes. How would they?
Yeah. No,
so
it was.
We'd come back. We learned things like that throughout.
Yeah. No, it was. It was such a good time, and finding those people that just fought, man, and knowing that having to make that decision between my health and helping people, and I know I have that group of people. That's why I had to let people know who you are, because that was a great decision. Yeah. And so...
And I could only do it because I had people with me.
That's right.
I had my posse as well. I had different women that they were... I'm a pastor, and I had 3 other female pastors that the churches were closed. So, and so they came alongside me. I had different friends who were working from home or were teachers, and it was in that first shutdown part, so they had more time. So I had because I'm older, and it's hard to see addresses and drive down the city of Flint. So I had to have a co-pilot at all times.
Yeah. They call it a spotter.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you had a spotter.
Yeah. At one point, we had a fleet because we had all of the food and stuff, but we also had these big tubs of iced things, like the milk and stuff. So we had vans.
Wow, you actually had it in a tub of ice. Wow, that's great. Because I know freezers was hard.
Coolers, the coolers. We had them at the church, the big ones, but to go on the road, we could put 24 gallons in the coolers.
Yeah, I remember getting a call going, "Hey, I got 200 gallons of milk. What do we do with this?" And I'm like, I don't know.
I could take it.
Right, I was like,
we got big coolers inside.
Oh, we ended
taking them out. Yeah.
It was so much. I actually enjoyed all that. I thought because it was nuts, and so you're just like decision go,
Yeah.
and I did really well in that environment.
Every time I thought, okay, we're going to need this, somebody would drive up
Yep.
with a pallet of something.
Something. Yep.
Programs that I had, funny story is the summer before I had signed up for that. We had tried to do that meet up and greet or meet up and eat
Oh,
up.
yep.
And
Meet up and eat up. Yep.
The families that I thought the kids would come, their parents were working and they were at home by themselves, so they couldn't get there, and we weren't allowed to deliver it. But because we had signed up, because we had been approved for that, because we've been trained,
Yeah.
boom, when all of a sudden everything changed, the school was closed, we're like, oh yeah, you can deliver it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Because
will
you were
be
already
a part
set
of
up.
this? So they're delivering us pallets of food. We've got pallets of formula, pallets of diapers.
Yeah.
People coming by and giving us, checks
Yeah.
and cash because they want to make sure that
Yeah, like
everyone's getting what
between
they're
you
getting.
and Mothers of Joy. I mean, isn't she awesome?
Oh my gosh.
I know, right?
Oh my gosh.
All right. On that note, we're talking about my lovely friend Cherise, and we are going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to find out what Little Lambs is up to, what their plans are, what outreach things they have going on, and how you can help or get helped by them. You guys sit tight, and we'll be right back.
People that are talking about breaking the rules use their fingers to speak to each other. And that's what gangs do to communicate from point A to point B. It's almost like this has been in the Bible for 2,000 years. And people feel like it's a new thing. That is unbelievable, isn't it? That things that are happening in your life today are in here from 2,000 years ago. That's very weird.
And welcome back to the Warriors Way. We were just talking about some stuff. We'll fill you in on that later. That's a backroom conversation. But welcome back to our final session with Little Lambs. And our warrior this week is Don Ramirez. And we were just getting ready to talk about things that you have coming up for the community. Do you have like a community calendar or anything on your website?
Yes. We have a couple calendars. The page that they're on the home page, you will see the different kind of parking lot pickup appointments.
Okay.
So those are on Wednesdays and Thursdays. There's about 64 slots. You pick a date and you pick a time, and a form.
You just
pops
roll
up.
up and they
Yep,
get
they
something.
fill it out, and then you can do it on your phone. You can do it on any mobile device.
Okay.
Very easy. Fill out the form, submit it, and then give us a beep when you get there. You'll see a sign that says "Give us a beep," and you're like this little drawing. It looks like a kindergartner, but it was me.
Well, you are an artist, so
Right. Not. And so we have that. And then there's MERV. Now, MERV is our mobile everything response vehicle. So that's
Okay.
the bus. And MERV has a schedule. And I'm happy to say that this summer, MERV will be out even more than we were last year.
Okay.
Outside of the, when we were all mobile, we came back in June.
Yeah.
But now that, schools and agencies are having functions and things, community
Yeah.
events, then we'll be signing up for those. So you can find us. And if you have an event and you...
All right, so you can show up to other people's events, is what
Oh,
you're saying,
yeah,
in fire support. That is awesome. So, like I said, she is part of our spiritual warfare unit, and we will be getting a link. Now, if people want to, do you have the ability, if people want to donate time?
Oh,
if they're interested in
absolutely.
helping out,
Yep.
how would they do that?
Again, the website has that information where you can send us a note that says what you want to do, if it's
Okay.
yourself, a group. We encourage what we call, for youth groups, stay missions. If you're a small youth group, you can't go to Costa Rica for a mission.
Yeah.
But you can stay in town.
Yeah, yeah.
And we've got the fourth Saturday or the last Saturday of every month, we meet at the local laundromat.
Uh-huh.
Because all the donations have to be washed and dried
Yeah,
and sorted. There's a ton of different things that people can help with. If
All right, so
mechanics,
if I told somebody to call 810-732-1737,
you could do that.
They could just say, hey, I got a youth group, or I got a
Yep.
life group, or I just got some friends. I think what you're doing is awesome. I was a single dad or mom, and I want to help what you're doing. And they can just give it a call and set it out there. All right. Do you have...
Also, message us on Facebook, our Facebook page. It's going to go directly to me.
All right, and we will be putting this podcast on your Facebook, or you'll be loading up on your Facebook. We'll be sending it to you so you can check that out. And I love what you guys do so much, because I was actually a kid with a single mom and with 3 kids that if you would have existed, we would have used you, and I would not have had to have robbed the 7-Eleven that was at when I was a kid. And just changing the names to keep the guilty out of it. But no, so now do you have any kind of do you raise money? Do you have a benefit? Do you have a dinner? Do you have anything like that people can look at if they want to?
Last big one we had was in 2019.
Okay.
Because of COVID.
What was it?
Well, we had 2 big ones that year. We had Say Yes to the Dress Again, which was held at the farmer's market. And there was about 100 of us ladies.
Hold on. Say yes to the dress. What does that mean?
Again.
Oh, again. Oh, okay.
So we all showed up in our wedding gowns.
No kidding.
Yes.
So you had 100 brides.
Right in the atrium there in the middle of the...
You guys didn't make the news on that?
Oh, we did.
Oh, I was going to... Wow.
Oh, yeah, we did a couple times.
Couple times. Uh-oh.
So that was it. And there was so there was...
So what was it for? You dressed up for what?
It was just an event we threw, and the women, so the ticket sales, we had the crepe company, we had local pizza people, we had the Krabby Duck. I'm sorry, I can't remember. We had a lot of the vendors there from the market.
Wait a minute. The Krabby
it's
Duck.
not the Krabby Duck. I'm sorry, I can't think of his name right now. I'm drawing a blank. He's gonna be like, what? But it was great. So we had the cheese people. So we had an auction.
Okay.
So because we had so much that was given to us, there wasn't a lot of overhead for it.
Yeah.
So the price of the ticket, and we had a DJ, we had karaoke, we had a good time. We had a
Are
real
you
good
doing
time.
something like that this year? You don't know yet?
Not in 2022 because it takes.
Okay.
We're still trying to get back.
It's like
on
a
our
2-month
feet, right?
setup for that stuff.
We also had for our donors and our staff and our board, we had a dinner.
Okay.
At a local Christmas tree farm, but it was in August. Big tent. It was a beautiful night. We had the band, kind of as a thank you.
Yeah.
And honestly, that ended up being a very
Generous evening.
Yeah, a very generous evening. I didn't even ask for anything.
Yeah.
But it was just we were celebrating what we had done.
Okay.
We have a few corporate sponsors.
All right.
Merv, Molina, Blue Care, Blue Cross Complete, and HAP Insurances. They all have the Medicaid versions of them. So they support our truck. And I did the NASCAR. I still have space. It's like NASCAR. Except for if you put your logo on our hood, it's not going to blow off because hopefully.
So, do you have the outfits with the?
No, it's not. It's all on the bus.
Ah, shucks, man.
And then we have a lot of
because if you get the Krabby Duck, I want. Listen, now you're going to have us Googling for that
I
duck
know,
place, right?
it
So if
is.
you guys find it out, post it on our Facebook, Spiritual
I'm so
Warfare
sorry.
Unit. It's
I'm
the
so
actual name, and
can't
we're
think
sorry
of
we
it.
can't give a shout out to the semi Krabby Duck or the Happy Duck or whatever this duck is, and. But now we're going to have people going, they will get it done. I'm telling you.
Okay.
Our people will get that done. So I'm super excited. So you can also, we have a event calendar on our website. So if you want to submit that, just so people have it, and we're going to get a link so people can find you. So if you need help, you'll be able to get it. And
we will probably be rolling out a capital program in the fall. Because like I said, we're busting at the seams and we're going to be needing a new building or land to build a new building. So.
All right,
That'll be
perfect.
happening at
Dave, do you got the duck story, bud?
Chubby duck
Thank
sushi.
you.
Chubby.
Thank you.
So we got, well, you know what? If it's a chubby duck, it's definitely cranky. I know I can be cranky.
He was pretty happy.
Okay, and that cranky, now I'm saying cranky duck.
I had the C, right?
Right now I have this mental picture of like a chunky Donald Duck in my brain right now. That's what I'm like. I'm like, man, he's going to taste amazing, right? Oh man, it's the artist in me, I guess. So, all right. So, you guys are doing those things in the community, and so as far as like social events that you're going to be doing, they can just go to your website or give a call,
Yeah.
and then if they want to donate time or their group wants to come down, because
Right.
what you do is amazing. Helping the moms that are struggling in this world is just a special place in my heart, and I fight for those people too, because it back in the day, one salary would get you there for the family, and then it was 2 salaries will get you there. Well, if you're 2 salaries and then you're single and then you're having the kids and then you got 2 jobs and it doesn't add up to what you can get, then you're cutting, right?
Right.
And it's like, what do you cut and how do you do it? And the beautiful thing is everybody that is a warrior on our list is someone who helps the community for free, right? So if you're struggling with food, if you're struggling with money to get baby clothes or formula or learning how to deal with your kids, like through Mothers of Joy University, helping like with Richfield Academy, you need someone to help you with your kids' schoolwork. If you need to see a doctor, if your kid needs to see a doctor, all of that stuff can be taken care of and won't cost you a single thing. And the thing that blows my mind, you've been around since when?
2004. Yeah.
And people don't know what you do. That's crazy considering how much that you do. And as far as like our program from jail, the other thing that makes this super fun, and this is where we connect, is coming from a jail background, jail ministry background. My guys and girls are coming out of jail, having to go back to the same environment that got them there in the first place, right? But if we can provide them with clothing and food and job training and parental training and a church background that's going to support what they're doing and help them do it, you actually are doing the actions that, it says that faith without works is dead. We're actually doing those works and showing that to them, and we're going after the people that have nothing to give us, and we just want to show them that we love them. And that's why I like what you do, because there's no other way. Someone can't go into that and go, well, they were in that for the money, or they were in that to look good, or they were in that, other than the chubby duck, which got the biggest the biggest thing in there. That's the biggest plug you had, right? The rest of it was just, this is what we're doing to help our ladies and help our families and help those children, right? And it's the fact that you do this, and that came from a struggle. When I was in my car accident in 2009, my doctors had told me, you're never going to go back to work. Never. That's a strong word, right? Yeah. You're never going to drive. You're not going to be able to go outside. Never. And when I asked doctor, well, what does that mean, never? He said, I meant impossible. Right. And so I take the word impossible just to mean not done yet.
Right.
Just hasn't been done yet. So once I look at that situation, now I have to narrow my scope. There's certain things I can't do. There's certain things I can't attend to. Like I can't go to a concert. A little loud. A lot of stuff going on. But I can help my friends who are helping people in a quiet environment and help people know that they're there so they find out about it. And if you're sitting at home and you're watching this and you're struggling, you're not alone. You've never been alone. You just didn't know they were there.
Right,
Now you know.
Exactly.
And so if they don't go to littleambcmc.org, if they don't call 810-732-1737, you're choosing to struggle, which you don't have to do. We can do this together and we can get there. So I just want to thank you very much.
Thank you. I just want to say one thing. We are community. We are made to live in community. And our goal is just that we create communities without margins. There's a lot of talk about in the margins.
Yeah.
We want to erase the margins. We want a community where there are no margins and where families flourish and thrive.
And that's why we had you on, because we appreciate that. If you haven't gone and checked out our website, please hit that. If you'd like to see this in review, please go to Spiritual Warfare Unit on YouTube, and we'll have it loaded up. If you're needing help, if you need a biblical life application class that you can use in your program, go to spiritualwarfareunit.com. Check out our life application class. Thank you for stopping in, and we will see you next week. Do you have a nonprofit in your area that's doing a lot of work that people should know about? Feel free to contact Spiritual Warfare Unit at 810-715-9319, and we would love to have them on to see what good they're doing in the community and find out their story. Thank you so much.
walls came down and your love shone through. Now my life will never be the same. You love me too much to let me stay this way.